Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. Welcome to a wonderful cricket happening show with your host Ram. And the reason I say it's a wonderful show because I'm going to enact you the dramatic last over that took place between Chennai Super Kings and Rajasthan Royals. Just to give you a gist of it, Rajasthan Royals made 151 for 7. They struggled, and finally it was Shreyas Gopal, you know getting those big hits, got the Rajasthan Royals to a score of 151 for 7. But Chennai Super Kings were left with the task of getting, after Dhoni had done a good job, and they required 18 runs of the final over, and we saw a dramatic final over today. It is a dramatic final over in IPL 2019. In fact, they say that it was one of the most dramatic overs in IPL history. So let's dive in first and see what really happened. So I'm going to give you some cricket commentary here, and the equation is such that we are in the final over. Chennai Super Kings are requiring 18 runs to win the match, and this is what happened. Now, it was a very, very eventful over. A lot of things happened which probably one could have not imagined. So let's have a listen on what really happened. So it was Jadeja on strike, Ben Stokes was the bowler, and 18 runs to get to the final over. The other end, it was that dynamic captain of Chennai Super Kings, Mahendra Singh Dhoni. And when Dhoni is at the other end, one would definitely give Chennai Super Kings a chance to get the 18 runs, even Jadeja for that matter. In fact, Jadeja started off with a beautiful hit. It was a full ball from Ben Stokes outside the off stump. He was trying to ball it a bit wide. Jadeja reached over it, and it was a very, very funny thing. He actually fell over while actually putting it over Stokes' head. He had got that ball, hit the meat of the bat, and it sailed over the fence for an incredible six. Now that was out of the 18 runs, 6 runs were just nipped off, and now the equation was 12 runs required of the final 5 balls. So Jadeja was on to the next ball, and it happened to be a no ball, and it resulted, so as you know, no ball results in a free hit, and the good thing was that they had crossed over for a single, and Mahendra Singh Dhoni was on strike. Now the free hit could not be taken much advantage of by Dhoni, but what he did is that Dhoni got a slower ball from Ben Stokes, a back of leg delivery, and Dhoni tried to pull it, but probably he ended up pulling it, but in the end the outcome was 2 runs. So now 9 runs were already taken in 2 balls with that no ball now, and now the equation was another 9 runs to get of the remaining 4 deliveries. Now Stokes came in and bowled to Dhoni, and here this was a wonderful delivery from Ben Stokes. The crowd went wild here when Dhoni was out, because the ball actually tailed in. It went between the bat and pad gap of Dhoni, was attempting a big stroke, and in the process yacked himself, and that was the end of Mahendra Singh Dhoni. But Mahendra Singh Dhoni had done a splendid job there, come in and did his job, and finally when he was gone, Dhoni was bowled by Stokes for 58 of 43 deliveries, which include 2 fours and 3 sixes. Now Mitchell Santner wonked in, 9 runs still required, and now there are only 3 legal deliveries to go, and now we are going to see what happened. This 4th delivery, have a listen on what happened. Santner was the new batsman, Stokes was the bowler, and this was a ball which was a slower delivery from Santner. But as you know, if at all you bowl a ball which is waist high, it is normally called as a no ball. But here what happened was the umpire did not call a no ball, but Santner managed to get 2 runs out of it, because he shovel flicked it, and he got 2 runs. But suddenly there was a sudden scene on the ground when Mahendra Singh Dhoni, out of his dugout, came in and started walking towards the umpires, the two umpires who were in the middle. I think it was umpire Ravi, if I'm not wrong, and the other umpire too, the new umpire. And he came there and started arguing with the umpires, and he was asking. Stokes was into the motion as well, and Dhoni was probably asking them that why not give a no ball, because the ball went wayside, but the umpire, uh, it was not a no ball, and it was not very well taken by the Chennai Super Kings. In fact, let's see what happened. That was the fourth delivery, and in fact, it was not taken well, and they went back. So this was something which one would have not expected a person of the stature of Dhoni to do, but unfortunately that was the case. As you know, the sparks were really rising as they were looking out for that victory target. And now it came to the fifth delivery with still 7 runs to get, and the man on strike was Santner, and Stokes was the bowler. So Jadeja was kept off the strike, which was a bit difficult, because Jadeja is one who really gets that ability to hit. So let's see what happened. So the fifth delivery from Ben Stokes was wide of the off stump, and Santner reached towards it, and it went towards the long on region, and Santner scampered across for 2 runs. So that brought the equation now with 5 required of the final 2 deliveries. Now this is going to be interesting. This was the 5th delivery, which was bowled, as I said, and now this was the, as I said, 2 balls were left, and they required 5 runs. So let's see what happened. Now Stokes was the bowler, Santner was the batsman, and Santner actually got a ball from Stokes which was wide outside the off stump, and it was still further moving away, and this time the umpire called it a wide, and now it was just 4 runs required of the final delivery, and all eyes were on Santner, as Santner had not crossed. Santner was still on strike, and Jadeja was the non-striker. Now this was very interesting. The final delivery was coming up, and Santner was the one man on the hot seat, and what an electric atmosphere that was in the stadium. And now Ben Stokes was under pressure as well. But let's see what happened. And the final delivery, what a finish here for the Chennai Super Kings. Chennai Super Kings won that match. This was a ball from Stokes outside the off stump, and Santner had moved into a in fact, Santner was very, very smart. He actually got this ball to just went on with the stroke and lofted Stokes. He reached for it, so basically he had already moved towards the offside, and he smote Stokes onto the pavilion roof, and that was all over as it sailed on for a 6 over the long on region. And what a match here. It was all over. An action-packed over in IPL history was bowled, with 18 runs taken by the Chennai Super Kings, and Mitchell Santner was the hero with that 6 of the final ball, and Ben Stokes, who, as you would remember, would have probably remembered Carlos Brathwaite, who hit him for 4 sixes for West Indies to win the T20 World Cup, as you would all remember. But this was all over, and that was the end of it. And it was the victory for the Chennai Super Kings. So what a victory that was. What a dramatic final over we had here. It was tremendous stuff coming in as far as this particular game was concerned. But as I said, it was a very, very eventful over. There were a lot of happenings that happened, with Jadeja falling over, trying to say 6, Dhoni intervening, coming in from the dugout, intervening with the umpires for the no ball. The no ball was not given, and then Stokes bowled a no ball, the 5th delivery, and finally Santner finished it off in great style by smoting a 6 of the bowling of Stokes, and that was the match for the Chennai Super Kings. So I just wanted to bring you right down to the wire, and that's the precise reason I went first to this. So now, since I have already taken you down to the wire and told you what exactly happened, now let's have a look at the card here. So Rajasthan Royals were the ones who actually batted first, and they trotted up a score. They struggled. It was not an easy pitch to bat on. The ball was not, it was not, I wouldn't say that it was very, very easy for stroke making. One had to really watch out. And if you look at the card there, Ajinkya Rahane making 14 of 11 balls with 3 fours. In fact, Ajinkya Rahane and Butler started off in an aggressive vein. They had put on 31 runs in 2.5 overs because they had decided that they are going to try to hit Chahar and Santner out of the attack by getting on to them. But well, they did it to a certain extent of 31 runs, but after that the wicket started falling. Rahane was eligible with Chahar for 14 of 11 deliveries with 3 boundaries. Butler making 23 of 10 balls with 4 fours and 1 6. Sanju Samson came back, but Sanju Samson could not, could not contribute. He just made only 6 runs of as many balls with 1 4. And suddenly the spinners got in the mix. Jadeja picked up 2 wickets, important wickets, that of Stephen Smith for 15 of 22 deliveries with 1 4, and Tripathi 10 of 12 balls with 1 4. And then it was only Ben Stokes who actually stayed there to see to it that the Rajasthan Royals went on and played their full quota of 20 overs. He was there till the 19th over. His contribution being, which was also the highest score in this particular Rajasthan Royals innings, of 28 of 26 deliveries, which included 1 boundary only. Parag made 16 of 14 balls, 2 fours. Jofra Archer, but it was Shreyas Gopal who really started some batting ability here, as he was the one who actually pivoted the Rajasthan Royals innings during the death overs to a score of 151 for 7 with some big blows, as he finished on an unbeaten 19 of 7 deliveries, which included 2 fours and 1 6. Jofra Archer was not on 13 of 12 balls, 1 4, and that was the Rajasthan Royals innings at 151 for 7. As far as the bowling was concerned, Chahar today, for the first time we saw that Chahar was taken for runs, 4 overs to 33. Santner 4 overs, 1 for 25, did a good job. Shardul Thakur got a clatter. In fact, Shreyas Gopal went after Shardul Thakur. 4 overs to 44 was the costliest. Jadeja did a good job, 4 overs to 20, and Imran Tahir 4 overs, none for 28. Now Chennai Super Kings, as I said, was given a target of 152 runs to win from their 20 overs. Their start was a very, very abysmal start, as Shane Watson lost his stumps to the bowling of Kulkarni, who really bowled the ball on the mark, and he was gone for naught. After that, there was more trouble, as Unak picked up the very important wicket of Duplessis, who has been in some good form. He was dismissed and sent back to the pavilion for 7 of 10 deliveries. After that, Suresh Raina in the melee, getting run out by Archer, that was a bit serious there. And then there were more trouble, as Kedar Jadhav was a victim of the bowling of Jofra Archer, and suddenly this Chennai Super Kings innings really was looking very, very shaky, with a score on 24 for 4 after 6 overs, almost 6 overs. And now the batsman in the middle was Ambati Rayudu. At the other end, it was the Chennai CSK captain Dhoni entering the scene. But from 24 for 4, it was a wonderful recovery. It was 95 runs was added. Dhoni was playing in his aggressive self. Rayudu was just taking the singles and giving as much strike to Dhoni. But then Dhoni started clattering some sixes. He really caught hold of Shreyas Gopal and swung him for 2 sixes. He also hit 1 more 6, I think, of Ben Stokes, if I'm not wrong. And also, and after that, Ambati Rayudu started getting into that Dhoni vein, as he also started hitting some sixes, and this partnership had done a good job to take the score to 119 from a very shaky situation in the 18th over, but there was still a lot of work to be done. And finally, then Rayudu was a victim of the bowling of Stokes after making a very good 57 of 47 deliveries, which included 2 fours and 3 sixes. And then Jadeja walked in, and after that, as I told you, dear fans and subscribers, what happened was something very, very dramatic. Dhoni's contribution being 58 for 43 deliveries, 2 fours and 3 sixes. Jadeja remained not out of 9, but the hero was Santner, who got 10 runs of 3 deliveries with that stupendous 6. Now he had done this once, I do remember, back home in New Zealand as well. Santner definitely is someone on whom we can rely upon. 155 for 6, game over. Chennai Super Kings winning the match by 4 wickets. You look at the bowling, Dhaval Kulkarni did a wonderful job, but one was wondering that why he was not given the final over. 3 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 14. Javed Unadkat, 3 overs, none. If you look at it, Dhaval Kulkarni had bowled 3 overs, 1 for 14, and Ben Stokes had. I think Ben Stokes was also had done a good job till that time. I reckon. Let me check on that. No, he had given 21 runs. So probably the best bet would have been on this day to bowl Dhaval Kulkarni. One does not know what was the reason Dhaval Kulkarni was not thrusted the responsibility. Unadkat 3 overs, 1 for 23. Archer was superb, I thought. 4 overs, 1 made 1 for 19. Parag 3 overs, none for 24. Gopal 4 overs, none for 31. But Ben Stokes, after getting the clatter of 18 runs of his final over, his figures read 3 overs, no maiden, 1 for 39. Well, that was the match between Chennai Super Kings and Rajasthan Royals. Well, dear fans, tomorrow the match which is coming up is going to be between Kolkata Knight Riders, who are taking on the Delhi Capitals, and once again Andre Russell would be the main focus there, and Delhi Capital would be scheming to see as to how they stop Andre Russell, who is in absolutely red hot form, as to how to stop him. Well, dear fans and subscribers, it was a pleasure bringing you this cricket show today, talking about this dramatic final over in IPL history, which was very eventful and had the makings of a great spectacle for all the fans who were present at the stadium. Well, dear fans and subscribers, this being said, it's about time for me to bid you all a very good night from my studios. Thank you.